I'm about to go on an angry rant because I really do not like how Warner Brothers and Rocksteady treated Kevin Conroy. In this video, I'm going to be going over his final performance, stuff that's not released, leak rumors, roles that he didn't receive. I know art and entertainment is subjective. Everyone has their own opinions. They form their own feelings and views on what they watch. But today, there is nothing subjective. Kevin Conroy is the definitive and best voice actor of all time when it comes to Batman. That's not my opinion. That is fact. They released the last episodic content for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and Kevin Conroy had dialogue that he recorded, and they didn't release it. But there are other things Warner Brothers has done to Kevin Conroy that I want to mention first, such as when I personally met him, I asked him, hey, how come you were in the Red Hood or Year One? And he himself told me Warner Brothers never asked him to voice either of those movies. I am an avid Kevin Conroy fan, and Mark Hamill is the GOAT when it comes to Joker. Every Batman video game and animation was him up until the Red Hood. So I grew up with Conroy my whole life. At the time, I was really mad because I was just used to having him cast and everything. I was pretty spoiled, right? I understand you have to experiment. You have to have other people do versions of Batman, which is fine. However, you don't exclude him from the most beloved and favorite Batman comics of all time. Instead, we get Ben McKenzie, his really unenthusiastic, half-assed, baby back bitch performance.
12 years, and the ache is still fresh. Like a raw, angry nerve. I'm not ready. I have the means, the skill. I have to wait.
He sounds like he is falling asleep in the recording booth. It's like a raw egg. Why isn't Conroy doing this shit? It's Year One.
12 years, and the ache is still fresh. Like a raw, angry nerve.
The man who impersonated Bruce Wayne. I want his name. The name. Now.
Then we have the other fiasco, where him and Mark Hamill were at a Comic-Con and they announced, hey, how does it sound to do the Killing Joke? And then Conroy follows up with, how does the Long Halloween sound? Some of the biggest Batman comics in the world. And then we don't have Mark Hamill or Kevin Conroy in the Long Halloween? Why even have him fucking announce it if you're not going to cast him? And then we have one of the big problems. Anyone who purchased Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, if you have that Blu-ray or DVD or 4K, that's not Mark Hamill you're listening to. That is Troy Baker. Some people argued, well, Mark Hamill's getting a lot older and, his voice isn't the same and he's a smoker. No. He did Multiverse. He sounded the same. They milked Conroy's death and were like, this is his final performance as Batman, which it sadly is. But what they were advertising it as, it's Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy for the final time. They had to fix the mistake after they had already made and shipped out all the Blu-rays and 4Ks. So all of them that are out there right now are fucking counterfeit ones. It's false advertising. This is the company you need to send an email to so they can send you a replacement copy, because the copy you have is not Mark Hamill. I will also be leaving that email in the description below. And what's frustrating is if I ever lose that disc, I'm going to have to buy another one and then email that same place to send me another disc. And eventually, 4Ks aren't going to be made anymore, and I'm just going to be shit out of luck. Now, I'd like to cover some of his unreleased stuff, and that would be Poison Ivy's voice dialogue. There was a data mine that was leaked. It's not considered new because it's on YouTube right now. You can listen to it. Conroy does have dialogue coming out with Poison Ivy in the Multiverse video game. There might be a couple extra words here and there that maybe weren't in the data mine, but that's really it. That's all that's coming that's left. Non-related Batman things, there's a show called Ollie and Scoops. He's in episode 12. It's called Catch My Thrift. And I actually emailed the creator of that show, and he got back to me and said that he just doesn't have the money to make the episode. So that will eventually come out in the future because he does have a fan base with that show. I personally never seen it. The other big project that Conroy does not have released is Relatively Super, which I had also emailed the director of that. But to keep things short, he basically told me he tried selling this project to Amazon. They rejected it, and he's been in limbo on making this project since 2012. It's 2025, so I don't think this movie's coming out ever. However, you know who could help make the Relatively Super movie come to life? Mark Hamill's greedy ass. Mark Hamill. You charge your fans $400 fucking for an autograph. And you upcharge them more for a bigger item. So why don't you take some of your money and respect your friend, your friend who's gone, and help him bring one of his last projects to life, instead of charging your fans $400 fucking to sign a Funko Pop. He's so fucking up Trump's ass right now, he probably doesn't even remember doing that with his friend. Probably out of his mind. Oh, I did what? There's nothing else of his coming out aside from those 2 projects. All the rest of Batman's stuff is done. His final Batman performance was in this. They did a great job with it. Granted, he's only in it for 70 seconds, and it was the animated series style. This was a great send-off for him, and I want to own his last project. Definitely check this out. Support him. I want to share some of my favorites, and this is honestly why he's the best.
Why did the Joker meet with you? It has to do with the gangster murders, doesn't it? He thinks you're involved. Why?
It's Batman. What's happening?
Batman! I'm still running!
Alfred, get the Batwing ready. The Justice League is under attack.
By whom?
By me!
Before we vote, I think the accused should be allowed a few words in his defense.
My actions don't require any defense. In the same situation, I do it again.
Oh, come on!
As individuals, and even more so as a group, the Justice League is far too dangerous to lack a failsafe against any possible misuse of our power.
We use our power to protect the world. We always have.
And what if we ever used it for some other purpose? If you people can't see the potential danger of an out-of-control Justice League, I don't need to wait for a vote. I don't belong here.
Meaning, I trust, that once you're done with him, you'll be seeing her?
You think you know everything about me, don't you?
I dive at your bottom. I bloody well ought to, sir.
Well, you're wrong.
You see why this is sad is that's going to be really hard to replace. Just his energy and his passion for this character. He really gave it all. He was nice to his fans. I hate that people bash on him about the Suicide Squad game. He didn't expect them to not fucking finish it because Batman was supposed to survive in the game and come back. Miller Ross started just dropping leaks last year. Everything he said was true, but since they were down to a skeleton crew, they were done. They stopped production on it. They weren't going to pour any more money into it because of the poor sales and the bad reviews and people just bashing on it. And I've done a lot of research on this game. In Season 1, you were supposed to save the Flash. Season 2, you were supposed to save Green Lantern. Season 3, you were supposed to save Batman. Season 4, you were supposed to save Superman. And then in Season 5, you team up with the Justice League and all of you fight the final Brainiac. And then they were going to have an actual end and conclusion to the game. Batman was going to quit the Justice League. And that's where the post-recorded content of Kevin Conroy that got cut was supposed to be. You have a Flash cutscene of him being saved. You have a Green Lantern cutscene. And then what? You're just going to cut out Batman's cutscene and Superman's cutscene? The 2 characters fans give the most shit about, they're getting the axe? So it was a major spit in Kevin Conroy's face. And then Rocksteady's like, let's give him this lazy, quick, rushed, shitty-ass animation. Instead of just putting Conroy's dialogue in there, they have fucking Harley Quinn do it, and then the game's over. They're like, hey, the Justice League never actually died. They were all clones. They're still alive. Bye. We're going to bring in all these DLC characters that no one gives a shit about, and we're going to put in an Elseworld Joker that no one wants. We're going to put in a female Mrs. Freeze. Then we're going to put in Deadshot's daughter, because everyone's begging to play her. And then we'll put in Deathstroke last. You should have done the DLC backwards. Story content first, that everyone cared about and wanted, and then did your little experiment characters. Conroy wouldn't have signed on to this game if his Batman character, was just going to die. There was supposed to be content where he came back to life. Let's break this game. This is my copy of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And I'm going to treat it the way it deserves to be treated. I got dirty gloves on. I want to make sure I could find the dirtiest gloves and touch this disc. So we'll break this first. Okay. There we fucking go. There we go. That's what I think of your game, Rocksteady. I want to send a special message to Warner Brothers. Fuck you guys for not casting Kevin Conroy in year 1 in the Long Halloween, but having him announce Long Halloween. And then I want to spend a very special fuck you to Rocksteady for not releasing his last recorded content that we'll ever be able to see. So all the people are like, oh, this is messed up. He died. Oh, they disrespected Conroy. I will defend Rocksteady on that. They did not know he was going to pass away. But he was supposed to come back in the game. I needed to share the information, and what was said needed to be said. So if you think I'm an overly eager fan, that's your opinion. And the last thing I'd like to announce before I go, guys, is I do plan on making a massive Kevin Conroy career collection. I'm going to be putting a lot of his work into one bundle for you guys to watch. It's going to take me a very long time to edit those. If you want to see that in the future, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when those videos drop. I am going to make them, but I'm being honest, it's going to be a lot of work and take me a long time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.